Hey there, I'm Sophia Hernandez, and today we are speaking to a woman of many, many different trades. One of them has even made her TikTok famous. Today in the spotlight is Abby Chai-Onn. Hey Abby, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So for our listeners, can you tell them a little bit about who you are and where you're at right now?
So, I'm currently in Miami, Florida. I'm a golfer. I am an English major at Siena College. I also play golf for them. Kind of a lot of things. I also doodle. I like to say doodle on TikTok instead of art because it's kind of still new to me, very overwhelming. But that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
I cannot wait to get into the TikTok talk. So fun fact, I actually don't have TikTok.
Really?
I have been one of the very probably at this point few people who have managed to not get it. But even saying that, like I've seen all of your doodles. It's amazing. We're gonna probably talk about that a little later because I really want to get into that. First,
Okay.
tell me, you play D1 golf. Can you tell me, did you always want to do collegiate golf, or was this something that kind of just transpired and you kind of went for it?
I think that's actually really funny because how I always start with my golf journey is that I went to Coral Reef with you, obviously. So I was in the orchestra program, and as soon as I got into it, I just told my parents that I hated violin. I said, I don't want to play this.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like honestly, I would just take pictures in the pit during the drama rehearsals. That's because I just didn't want to play violin.
Oh my gosh. So fun fact for people who don't know, in Miami, Florida, Coral Reef is a magnet school. And I did theater. Abby did orchestra. She was just too. So and from my perspective, it looked like, I mean, you're very talented, as I said, a woman of all trades. So seemed like you enjoyed it at least.
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the company and just like everyone that I got to meet in the whole art world. So I just didn't like violin and kind of the life that I wanted to live with it. So I really just told my parents, like, I don't want to play this. I don't know what I want to do. And they said, well, you have to do something because you have to get into college. So I kind of said it out of spite because my dad's like a golf fanatic. I said, okay, maybe I'll just play golf. Why not? And so they took me to the range, and then my dad was like, oh, she has like a really natural swing, so maybe we should do this. And then it was kind of like golf boot camp up until college. And I didn't know I was good enough to get recruited for college. So it was never really something I had in mind. It was just definitely something to put on my resume saying, yeah, I play golf, help me, like accept me into college. I'm well-rounded.
So the golf journey started in high school then, rather than like most people like kind of growing up, right?
Yeah, I started really late. I would play tournaments on the weekends, and I would be competing with girls that were like 10 years old shooting like under par, and I'm like 16, barely breaking 80. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is a humbling moment, but it's fun. It was fun. It was a character building experience.
For sure. And for you, what was that like even? You know, obviously maybe not having as much of expertise in that field or traditional training, and then playing at the collegiate level, probably amongst people, I'm assuming, that have had years and years under their belt, probably many accolades too.
Yeah, it's so crazy because, you know, it's like kind of swimming with sharks. I've always kind of had that mentality ever since I started golf, because if you don't do something that makes you scared, you're not going to grow. So I felt definitely a little bit kind of like I didn't have the confidence. I felt like I didn't have the self-confidence with my golf game because I would constantly compare myself to other golfers. And that's like the number one rule, where it's like you see all these different golf swings, and how do you expect everyone to play the same game? Like, how can you compare your game to like another person? So it's kind of like this very frustrating, but you have to be so patient with this journey of playing golf. And that's kind of like with everything. If you want to craft a skill, it's kind of like knowing that if you have like a bad day of like practice or just anything in life, you kind of just have to take it with a grain of salt and just say, you know, I know this isn't the end, but I know this will help me get further in life and just kind of grow as a person. So I felt like golf was kind of just this, it was definitely like a life mentor, I would say, that I'm like super appreciative for it. But it's crazy how much it's like made me grow.
Yeah. I always say golf wasn't a big thing in my family, so I'm not really as familiar with the sport, but Lauren, one of my good friends, you know her,
Yeah.
she played golf in high school, so I knew a lot from her and learned a lot from her. I don't have an inkling of athletic bone in my body, nor any golfing. Not good in that arena at all, but it is a sport that's like not like others, right? That it's definitely a lot more slower paced, and you really have to put your mind and concentration into it. I almost feel like it could probably be meditative in a sense.
It is. So whenever I want to take a break from life, I guess I'm always like, I'm gonna go to the golf course, I'm just gonna go hit some balls. And it's kind of like being with nature, even though it's very manicured nature. I think with golf, it's kind of, it is very therapeutic, but it also can just hurt your mental health like all the time. Like I can't tell you how many times I've just had like so many mental breakdowns after a round, or just like kind of just being so frustrated with practice that it's kind of like you have to be your own cheerleader and say, it's okay, like let's go, let's pick it up, let's motivate yourself and just kind of get through the motions. And one day, like you kind of get, I always call it a hump. I'm always like, okay, so here's one hump. If maybe like the goal is like breaking 80s, like we'll shoot in the 70s. Every kind of round, maybe I'll shoot 81, 80, 82, and it's kind of just like those few little strokes kind of make it or break it for your mental state, and you kind of just want to give up. You just want to roll down the hill. But every little step, every bad round or good round really gets you to the top of the hill, and then you witness how great it is above. And then sometimes you do roll down the hill because golf is just like that. But you know, you find joy in the process. You have to find joy in the process, I think.
Yeah. And that's definitely something too. I've always said the reason I wish I was better at golf was because that's really something that you can continue to exercise throughout life, like business meetings, or that's a sport that as you get older, you know, you find other people that do it and you're like, it's a beautiful Sunday, let's go golfing, you know?
I know. It's like, it's always like, I always joked about this with my friends in high school. I would say like, I think I'm better friends with your dad because I play with him on the weekends than like when I'm eating lunch with you right now.
No, for sure. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the doodling, as you like to call it. So when did you start doodling? Like, was this something that you've always like exercised creatively, or was it just something you picked up one day?
So definitely I would say drawing, doodling, it was always something I did in school. I remember kindergarten, you know, when like the teachers ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was just like, I want to be an artist. And then my parents were just like, oh no. I was just like, okay, never mind. But I would always be that kid kind of just doodling on their notebooks, and just whenever the teacher was zoning out or like showing a PowerPoint, I would always draw my notes. And a lot of my friends were like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, it helps me understand. It helps me like understand the world around me. So I would say doodling has always been a consistent thing in my life, but it was never made for like tattoo designs or something you would call that like on TikTok. But I really never intended for anyone to like be interested in my doodles. It's so weird. It really is so overwhelming and so weird. Like you don't have TikTok, but yet you knew about my TikTok. Like it's just insane. It's insane.
So did people before, because like, I mean, I doodled, right? Like I feel like a lot of people did, number one, to probably pass the time in class, but I was also just like a fun, entertaining, creative outlet. And I went through I feel like a high school phase where I was really into doodling, like and just drawing in general, like canvases, the whole art kit, the whole 9 yards. But did you ever, before TikTok, showcase your drawings to other people, sell them? Was there like ever a phase in your life that you were like, let's make this a thing before?
No, not at all. I mean, it would just be kind of more like the odd, like my friends would just say, I really like your drawings, like why don't you do this for a living or something? And plus I wasn't in the art magnet, I was more in the orchestra magnet, so I felt like I was like, oh my god, I don't want to like overstep. This is just something I like to do. I would always kind of downplay it because I didn't have the skills of like a classically trained artist, so it was kind of just, it was never like, I never thought of it. Like I was like, no, I don't make this for money, I'll do it for free. I always did signs. I actually did a sign, like I was way more into typography.
Okay.
because everyone liked my handwriting, and so I kind of
You do have beautiful calligraphy.
Thank you, thank you. So a lot of my teachers would ask me to draw signs for them, and they would like give me extra credit or something. So I was like, oh, okay. But I never charged people money. Like if they wanted something, I would make my friends like extravagant birthday cards. Anytime it was their birthday, I would come in with a huge poster, make everyone jealous. But
I love that. And so then what made you want to post it on TikTok, or like what was the day that you were like, all right, let's make this go virtual?
oh my gosh, like honestly with TikTok, you never know. That's like the beauty of it, I think, is that the algorithm is so weird that anything can go viral. Like the stupidest things can go viral, honestly. Like my TikTok was never intended for an art account. But since it grew, I have definitely put a lot of my other previous videos on private so no one can find it. But it was more like a scam account, kind of just like Instagram, but you're just having fun doing videos. And then one day I just kind of like showed and like an art piece that I did on an octopus's garden. Like that was like one of the first piece like
I think I know exactly the illustration that you're talking about. Okay.
Oh, you do?
I think I do. Yeah. I know I've seen the octopus before, so I'm pretty positive. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people liked that video. Like as soon as I posted it, it was just constant feedback. Like people were just like, can I get this tattooed? Can I have this on a print? Can I have this on a shirt? And I was just like, what is going on? And so I remember the next day I posted a video and I was like, I don't think you guys understand, this is not an art account. I was like, I am not going to be doing art. I don't want to be known for that. I just do it for fun. And I'm like, now look where I am. Like it's just
yeah.
Look right.
Sorry, wait, that is just too good. That's too good. So you were trying to nip it in the butt, and
yeah,
it didn't get. What was the feedback when you posted that?
Everyone was just like, they were super supportive. Like I have a really supportive community on my TikTok. They were just like, do whatever you want. Amazing. Like it's fun. But then I posted another video. Like it was just for fun, because honestly, I just doodle for fun. And so one day I was bored and I just asked my friends. I was like, send me 3 random words. I'm gonna turn it into.
Yes, I love when you do those. I love those. Okay, explain to the people what that is, what you do.
Okay, so wait, sorry. There's a truck going by. I'll wait till it.
You're good.
So I don't even know how to label it, but it's just kind of how my mind works. I'm like a divergent thinker. I just love thinking of just like anything that comes to mind. I'll just put it down on a piece of paper. So one day I was just super bored and I asked all my friends on Snapchat, I was just like, send me 3 random words and I'm gonna just turn it into art. And I was like, this will be a fun TikTok, you know, like why not? So I put it on and then everyone was just like, holy, like they were like, can you do this for me? Like, can you, like, wow, like I love how you incorporated and like interpreted these words. And it was just, that's how my mind has like always been programmed. I honestly think I'm bad at math because of that, because I never think of anything as a simple way. I'm always kind of trying to go the other current and kind of like fight for like the easy answer. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, after that, that's really when people started asking, do I do custom commissions? Do I do tattoo designs? They're like, where are you located? And I was like, in my childhood bedroom in Miami, Florida. Like, I don't tattoo anyone. Like, please don't contact me. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so we've got a lot to dissect here. So people that would reach out to you for these, let's say prints, we'll get to tattoos, because I feel like that's like a whole other section. But if people just wanted your design, like if I just saw one of your designs, wanted it on a canvas, wanted it on a piece of paper, how did you know what to commission? How was that process for you as far as like figuring out how much your doodles were worth, or like even that process? Like, because I know for me, I always feel so like, you know, you want to give things for free, but then there's also that part of you that's like, you could make a buck for it.
Yeah, you know? Definitely. My love language is acts of service. So just their feeling of like feeling loved from that, they are just, like, that just like, that's enough for payment. But I remember during the summer, I was just like, you know what? A lot of people are asking for this, so I might as well try to make some money. Like, why not? I don't have a job. I was kind of jealous. Like all my friends had a job, and I was just like, I should try to do something.
Right.
So I was like, my parents are kind of in like the graphic design world and kind of whole sign business. So I kind of talked to them and I was like, if you asked an artist for a design and you wanted to like put it on a print or something, like how much would you charge? And I remember my parents were like, minimum $75 an hour. And I was like, an hour? I was like, these designs, like a custom design takes me, like with communication with the client, it takes me like a week. Like I do new designs every week.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, people that want tattoos are not the most affluent. Maybe they are, but they're not the most affluent. They're like the teenage angst. Like, I don't care what you think, mom and dad. Like, I want a tattoo. So I'm like their parents' worst nightmare, where I'll make it affordable to have a custom design. So at the beginning of charging my commissions, I would charge $40, and the whole process is still the same with like how I was in the beginning to how I am now. And then I didn't realize how many people really wanted a custom design, because I finally made a separate email because people were really bombarding me on all personal forms of social media. And I was just like, I don't know, like any of you people, like please stop bombarding me.
Yeah.
So
it would be $40 just for the design.
Just for the custom design. Okay. And then
what about the ones that were like already made and out there?
So the ones that were already made and out there, I mean, it's the internet. You can't really cut, like you can't pinpoint every single person that gets your design. So I said, you're free to use a screenshot. Like, I really don't care. All I want out of it is to see a picture of it, because that's insane that you went out of your way to get my art on your body forever. Like, it spoke to you that much that you were like, I need this on my body ASAP. But if an artist, like a tattoo artist, needed my consent or my permission, because I know a lot of tattoo artists don't tattoo other artists' work without either some form of payment or consent from the personal artist that they have the right. So I started charging, those would be, since a lot of people can get it for free or just online, it was between like $20 to like $40. So that was like honestly pretty good money coming in just from like the people.
Something you never thought you would make a profit on.
Never. I still pinch
learned
myself.
So much now of the tattoo world. Like, did you ever know any like the logistics of it, how it worked out before doing this, or like did you have to read up on it? Did you have to like ask people?
Oh my gosh, I'm not the person to ask this. I'm literally just like, I wake up every day and I'm just like, I'm really hoping no one like calls me out on anything, because I don't know how to do anything. I just wake up, do my little doodles, and then I just send it to them, and I'm just like, awesome. And then my mom starts talking to me about taxes and everything because of all the payments, and I'm just like, wow, that's like adult talk. Like, I don't know any of that. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep vibing on the side and we'll worry about that later. But
do you feel like it's grown? I mean, I feel like it has, because I've seen, the people posting either their tattoos or their designs, however they've gotten it. Do you feel like it's just been an overwhelming response and like only has continued to become overwhelming?
It's definitely overwhelming. I mean, just almost like every day someone tags me or mentions me in like a TikTok saying that they got my tattoo designs, almost all the time. Like, I get almost, I want to say like 50 DMs all the time, and then it's so overwhelming. That is like the perfect word, because my mind can't connect to the fact that so many people follow my TikToks and so many people have gotten those designs and purchased, that I truly just think that like 10 people follow my TikTok and like half of them are my family members. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
How do you, like, what do you, because I can't imagine that. Like, I don't know how I would feel in that position. Like, what do you tell yourself when, you see those pictures of people posting those tattoos on their body? Like, what do you tell yourself to kind of be like, okay, this is very real, and like they like it. I
know. Like, usually I'll like reshare their stuff and it's like word vomit. Like, it's always like some emotional emoji, or I'm always just like, oh my God, it's beautiful. Like, your artist is amazing. But I always kind of have to just tell myself like, wow, people really like my work. Like, I kind of always like to downplay it and say like, okay, no, they're just being nice. They're just trying to support like a local artist, however you would call it, but they send me, I get so many emails of people sending me like their deepest, darkest secrets, their like most sacred confessions, and they're like, can you help me put an image to this story? And it just seriously gives me chills down my body. It's like I literally just got goosebumps just even saying that. But
amazing.
It's insane because I give them an image and they're just like, I'm in tears. This is exactly how it feels to like say this story. And I'm just like, wow, like I'm so glad that I can do that for you. It's just, again, it's like the acts of service. I'm just like, oh my God, like.
What is that like for you? Like when your inbox gets a ding and you get an email like that, like what is that process for you? What's kind of going through your head?
So usually if I'm looking through emails, which is like a constant thing, I remember, so in the beginning, it was really stressful because just so many emails would just come in and I would just read them all because I really wasn't doing anything in the moment, because with quarantine and lockdown, I really couldn't practice golf. I couldn't go out on the golf courses a lot of the times. So I would wake up, sit at my desk from like 9 a.m. till like 10 p.m. just doodling, reading emails. And so whenever I get these really emotional emails, I would kind of invest. It was like making a friend, basically. Like as soon as I finished those commissions, I felt like I truly knew their life, even though I don't know what they look like. But I just felt this connection, and it just kind of motivates me and inspires me to do it more, because it like breaks my heart that like people can't find the right words or the right image to kind of tell their story. So
it's incredible to me. Like I have to think that you must feel like it's just humbling. I have to think, that people entrust so much to you, not just like physically with their body to put your designs on, but like, their stories too, to be able to create something so beautiful. Is there ever times, because I feel like in any creative process, right, there's probably designs that you've made or created that you've hated, trashed out. What do you do in those moments? Or like, how does that process, or maybe there's not, maybe there's all the designs you love. Like,
no, oh my gosh, stop. No. So this is funny. So I'll tell you two processes. So if I'm doing a series of tattoo designs to show on TikTok, it's crazy, but the ones that I hate the most are the ones that everyone loves. Those are the ones in all the comments that everyone's like, oh my God, this design's the best. And like so many people like that comment, and they're like,
why do you think that is? Is it because you find fault in it afterwards, or?
I don't know. I think it's because I think the creative ability of creating the design didn't reach its full potential. So when I'm making it, I'm just like, oh my God, I hate this design. It's so ugly. Like, I just want to trash it. And I did that. I didn't show one design in one of my TikTok series. And I told them, I was like, I didn't want to show this one because I don't think it was good. And everyone was like, no, we want to see it because like, we just want to see it. And I was like, oh my God, no. But
did you end up showing it? That's the important question.
I did. I showed it on my Instagram, and then of course everyone was like, I love it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But if I make a design for like a custom and I don't like it, I immediately trash it. Like I don't show them, or I will sketch it and then along with usually like 7 other sketches, and I'll just show them, but I won't tell them that I don't like it. And again, it's the same thing. They usually like the one I hate. They're like, oh, I love this one. And I'm just like, okay.
That's funny. I feel like that's an interesting, I wonder why that is, like I wonder why.
Yeah.
Interesting. And for you, like what's the self-talk that goes through that? Because I feel like for anybody obviously that's like, putting their heart and soul into something, and also their time, because it takes you a lot of time to be able to do this, to kind of get to the end of a drawing, not like it. Do you ever feel like you're like, oh, forget this commission, I'm telling her I'm not doing it anymore, like that's it, forget the pen and paper? Like what's your mindset?
It's like this on and off switch. I'm kind of in this like flow state of creativity that even if I don't like the sketch or the commission, I will just kind of sit there with it, let it marinate in my mind a little bit. And it's constant communication with the client. I'm always like talking to them, or I would give them feedback saying, hey, I don't think this would resonate really well with what you're trying to put meaning into. And usually they agree. They're like, yeah, I don't like that, so we'll edit the design. But the self-talk that I have is just, it's okay, like designs like this happen. And usually I feel like it's kind of like fate, but I will like mess up kind of with like my ink pen, and I'm just like, okay, well now I have to redo the whole thing anyways. And I don't mind redoing it. I'm just like, oh, I just know it'll look better. It's kind of like that perfectionist mindset, but it's like I'm not killing myself over it. It's just, it's okay. It will be okay. It's a design. It's literally ink on paper. You can do it again.
As far as, you know, obviously a lot of people, they want to be on TikTok, whether it be by tattoo designs or whatever their passion is, and they want to go viral. For you, it happened just on a whim. But for other people that are like really striving or wanting it, what have you found in this TikTok endeavor to be the challenges and the pros positives?
So the challenges, I'll start with the challenges because we'll like end on a sweet note. But the challenges are definitely living up to like that so-called hype. Especially once people start knowing your account for something. If you post anything without that, they're kind of like, oh, that's cool, but can you start doing this? They kind of disregard you as a human, as like a living human, and they kind of just label you as like the girl that does tattoo designs. Like, why aren't you doing tattoo designs? And it's like, they'll find my personal account, and if I'm just kind of living my life doing school or golf, they'll be like, hey, can you answer my email? Can you answer my DM? And I'm just like, I don't want to be rude because obviously like they're not, they have like no bad intentions. They're just low-key being annoying. But I'm just like, oh, I'll get to it later. But I definitely think the cons of it is that, and you can also get so caught up in trying to have that hype because TikTok is just so weird like that, where let's say I'll post a video and I'll like not even care about it. It will get so much coverage, so many views. And then there will be one video where I put a lot of effort into it and it like what we call like flops because nobody views it. Like it got stuck in the algorithm. It's like quote shadow banned, but you can't really think about that. It's like, as long as you're doing what you like to do, if you're being authentic, if you're not just trying to make a viral video, it won't really have that much of a toll on you. But I think the positives of it, definitely, I've had so many opportunities to meet so many great artists and just people around the world. And I recently, like just like 10 minutes before we started talking, I got an email from Inkbox, and I like applied to be this like artist just for fun, because so many people asked me, they're like, I don't want a commitment of an actual tattoo, but I would love it if like you design stuff at Inkbox. So I kind of looked into it, and they got back to me and they were like, we love your work. Could you like fill out this profile? And like they were just basically telling me this like game plan of like being on their team, and it's like insane to think. And I did like a collaboration with Ink magazine of like making tattoo designs for them, and it's so weird. It's just weird to think, because I'm thinking of myself as this like 22-year-old girl who hates driving and just like goes on the golf course and just draws with like broken pens on paper at a desk in my room, to like talking to people who have like magazines and websites. And so I think it just has this like opportunity of like networking that you don't think could be a source. But it's definitely, now that it's gotten so much of a more of a popular coverage of TikTok, because I got TikTok when like 3 years ago, when it really wasn't that popular. And I just got it because I just saw it on Twitter and I was like, these look like funny videos. So I'm just gonna get TikTok.
Probably why a lot of people got TikTok, right?
And I didn't want people to know I was on TikTok, because it was getting such a bad, like, it was like just so bad if you were like 20 or older and you had TikTok. People were like, oh my God, are you a child? Like, go get a job. And so that's why my name is Collect Your Coins, because I didn't want my name to be Abby Chai-Dash, because I was like, I don't want anyone to know that I have TikTok.
Well, that didn't succeed very well.
I know.
You have been found. Abby, for you, because obviously we've been talking about it, you do so much, you have so many different talents. How do you kind of do time management and kind of, you know, make sure that you're not either spreading yourself too thin or doing enough in all your different categories and boxes, because you're a student, a golfer, a part-time or full-time really doodler, you know, like how do you do it all?
I kind of just take a step back, and what I found really helps with every week, I kind of sit down like Sundays and I kind of plan out my days. If I know that it'll be great weather, I'll say, okay, I don't have class till 3, so maybe 10 to 12, I'm gonna go practice. And then from 12 to 2:30, I'll answer some emails or I'll just doodle, I'll start researching. A lot of the times I work like on the weekends with the commissions and everything. And it's kind of just these priorities. Like, you talked about everything that I do. I obviously don't have friends, so I don't hang out with anyone.
I doubt that very much. I doubt that.
So I'm just like grooving, doing my own things, and I think it's kind of just like the priorities. It's if I know I want to get the commissions done, I'm not gonna hang out with so and so. And like I feel bad, but like I'm a born introvert, so it's like I'm not really missing out, but I do miss talking to my friends and everything. But I think with time management, it's knowing really who you are as a person. If you know that you can't handle 3 hours of sleep, you need to have your schedule set for like shut your phone and computer off by like 11 p.m. if you know you need to wake up early, because
Right.
I'll like wake up early so I can work out and go practice. So I can't be staying up from like 2 a.m. doing doodles, and like vice versa. Like I can't be just sitting at my desk from like 12 to 4 if I know it's like perfect weather. I should at least hit some balls. It's kind of there really is a balance that I'm still trying to figure out, because bless my parents, but like I'll have days where I'm just so moody because I'm just so stressed and I'm just like, don't talk to me.
As we all do. We all have those days.
I know.
And how do you deal with those days? You know, because like, and I feel like with COVID, it's been an interesting thing, right? Because you're now back at home. You probably would have been away, you know, so like I feel like the environment change might have something to do with it too, and just this new endeavor that you're now doing. How do you deal with those mood swings, highs and lows?
So how I deal with it, it's kind of like idolizing my monotonous life. It's kind of like glamorizing it, and that's what I have to thank TikTok for too, is that usually on Instagram it's all about highlight reels of like the promotion someone got, or like someone got married, someone had a baby, just all these very happy notes. Whereas TikTok kind of just shows the realness of life, and that everyone kind of does have a very A to B kind of life, where you wake up, you brush your teeth, you eat your breakfast, sit down, go to class. But it's like the little inches in between that kind of, you can glamorize the little things. You truly just feel like very happy, and it like the lows don't really get to me, but if I do have a low, I kind of just reflect. I journal. I'm like those people. I'm way into journaling. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
The inspiration possibly behind a journal. I love that. And for people, Abby, that are, you know, they see you, because honestly, like I know you from Reef, right? So I know like this one Abby in my mind, and then I'm like, he's literally known. Like, how many followers do you have on TikTok? How many followers? Do you even know?
Wait, I'll look it up right now.
Let's check.
I actually don't know.
Like there has to be thousands of people that know you, and it's just wild. It's a wild thing to know.
I joke about it because I'm like, I'm literally just an internet person, like these days. Like people don't, like, for all they know, they can know like I'm just like a robot. But on TikTok, I have 578,800 followers.
That is wild.
And that is crazy. Like,
did you ever think, like, if your younger self, that you would have, like, if you would have told yourself 10 years ago, oh, Abby, you are going to have almost 600,000 people look at you, you know, and your drawings, would you have imagined that?
No, not at all. I would get so scared because I would be like, because sharing your artwork, even just to a friend, if you're just like, hey, I drew you, that's like a vulnerable kind of thing to do, because you're like judging your skill. So the fact that like so many people, like, honestly, I'm not paying anyone to tell me that like my art is good. Like I always wait for someone to be like, these designs are so bad, and I'm like, you're right. It's just 10 years ago, I would have maybe I would have been happy because I would have been like, yeah, I can be an artist. Like, that's awesome. But yeah, I just wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it at all.
Where do you see for yourself? Where do you see yourself if you were to fast forward 10 years? Do you think that, I mean, maybe TikTok won't be around by then, but do you foresee yourself continuing or maybe even pursuing doodling full time? Or you don't know?
Honestly, in 10 years, I mean, I like have this, of course, like every like aspiring 20-something-year-old like has these like 5-year plans, or like they're like, I'm gonna do this. But like I really want to try to at least go pro in golf just for like maybe 2 years. Just try it out. Like maybe just see where it can go. That's why I am in Florida, so I can just practice year round. And after that, I mean, if I keep my hands good, the creativity never leaves my mind. And that's something that kind of pushes me through if I see other artists on TikTok kind of like doing the same kind of content that I'm doing. I always remind myself like, well, of course they have the skills. They're like, their art is great, but they don't have the creativity. They don't have my mind in the end. So I know that my authenticity will shine. So in 10 years, maybe I'll like draw for some big company or be a graphic designer for something. But right now, I'm just trying to get through the day.
I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
And does the thought of like, because going pro, that's a big ambition, and I know you're good enough for it, so I have no doubt that will happen. But does that kind of scare you? You know that you know, like what's
every day. I wake up and I'm like hitting balls, and like if I hit like a great drive, I just kind of scare myself. I'm like, whoa, that's something like I would see on TV. And it's kind of like those things where I constantly hear the feedback around me, people saying like, you have a really good swing, like you should try to go take it a step further. But it's kind of like that high school Abby voice and like that mindset of, you started way later, you're not good enough, like what are you even thinking, like trying to go pro, that's like out of your league. But I think I wouldn't want to have the regret of saying I could have gone pro. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I just wouldn't want to have that feeling of regret.
For sure.
So I just thought,
and I say that for me, I say that all the time. That's like my number one motto in life is like, I never want to live with regrets. So like I'm a seizer of every opportunity. So I get that 100%. Are you ready for that? Because you're graduating soon, correct?
Oh my gosh, so soon. I know. Okay, low-key, I'm like so happy that I'm graduating. Honestly, I was just never like a school person. I think that's why like people just think I'm not in school, because I just doodle and show my drawings on TikTok. But I'm gonna be working at a country club after graduation, so then I can also hopefully play more tournaments and everything. But it truly is a commitment. It's like a lifestyle that I kind of have to adjust, and I really want to balance this art and tattoo designs all in it. But I know that in the end, if I really want to commit to like going pro just for these 2 years, I would have to kind of wean off a little bit on the tattoo designs. But it's such a stress reliever that I love doing it, and I just have to find a balance. I know I'll find a balance.
And for people who are either wanting to follow in your shoes, like kind of that have it all mentality, right? Because right now you're doing a pretty good job of balancing the two. What's some advice that you have for them as far as, you know, just kind of dealing with your two passions and pursuing them both wholeheartedly?
I would definitely say I'm like super fortunate in having such a supporting environment. I never have people say, why are you doing that? That's such a waste of time. Like, go do something else. So it's definitely surrounding yourself with people. I know it's hard because some people don't have the best family relationships, but I'm always around my family, and family's like a number one thing in my life. That having those conversations and just kind of showing up and being like, I'm an adult, that I'm very serious about this. It's saying like, you're serious about these two things, and if you are, then actions speak louder than words. You will show up for yourself and for like the people around you and show that you're serious about this. Like, if I know I want to go pro, I'm gonna go practice. I'm not just gonna sit on my phone on TikTok for like 5 hours. Like, I used to do that all the time, and it's just not healthy. So it's definitely, if you want to follow in those footsteps, take a breather once in a while, like just truly know yourself too. I would also say that it's that if you know how you get, if you're irritated, if you know just little things that get to you, or if you know how to make yourself the best version of yourself, do that. Like, invest in that. Don't self-sabotage. And it takes a lot of discipline, but I feel like I have golf to thank for that. It's just such a self-discipline kind of sport that people think that like my lifestyle is so like pristine and like gold and everything, and I'm just like, no, I'm still trying to figure it out, just as you. Like, I'm not perfect.
Well, Abby, I can't thank you enough for being on this episode. And of course, if you want to learn more about Collect Your Coins or Abby, I will put her social media links down below. You could be one of the now 60,000 TikTok followers.
Oh my gosh. No, you'll be my friend. You'll be my friend.
You'll be Abby's friend. You'll be sure to find her. And of course, we'll have another episode of The Spotlight next week. That's every Thursday. And we will have those social links down below. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Abby.
Bye. Thank you.